Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I'm going to show you how to make the cover of this little journal. Now I've been asked a few times to make a little hardcover journal, and I've tried to sort of simplify it as best I can for you. I won't put the signatures in today and I won't do the closure, but I will just show you how to actually make the cover. So then next time we can pop the signatures in. I'll show you how you sew them in and add the little it's like a little I can't remember what they're called now, but it's like a little closure and it's like hooks over. So I've got a little band there, piece of elastic, and it just hooks over, so it's a really nice closure. I've popped the link to these in my shop in the Amazon storefront anyway, so you can have a look. I'll write down what they are on the bottom of the screen anyway. But that's really nice. So I thought I'd just show you how to make the basic cover. I know there's lots and lots on YouTube, but I thought I'd show you just how I do it. So let's get started. Now I've got some bases here, and the paper that I'm going to use is just from my blue butterfly collection. So but you again use whatever papers that you've got. This one I used the jelly prints on there, and I think that looks really nice. So I'm just going to use the blue butterfly. I've based it on the size. Now instead I've used some coffee stain paper, but what I've done, I've just torn the paper in half, so it's just a copy piece like that. So I've torn it in half and then folded it in half, and then I've just used that as the guide to cut it. So that means that we've got no leftover paper. We can just use the copy paper, half of it. So that's the size that I've used, but I know that all copy paper isn't the same size, so do take that into account. This is the European size, so that's what I've based it on. So I've just used some chipboard, and this is probably 2-3 millimeters, or let's have a quick peek. It's probably about just over 2/16 of an inch, something like that. But it's quite hard, but again, use any packaging that you like, you can use. And I've cut these to, this is 4.5 inches by 6.25, or 11.5 centimeters by 15.5 centimeters. So you want 2 of those, and then you want your spine, which is 1 3/16 of an inch by 6.25 inches, or 3 centimeters by 15.5 centimeters. So you just obviously just need 1 of those, like that. Okay, so let's get started. So what I've got as well is some sort of like craft tape. That's to stick this together. I've got some matte medium, which I'm going to use to actually glue the paper down. Again, you can use Mod Podge or any tacky glue that you've got. And I've also got a piece of this fabric, which is just this calico fabric, and that's to go around the spine as well. So they're the things that I have. Okay, so I've had fun this morning. I super glued my ring to my finger. That's why it's on this finger. I can't get it back on there. I can get this one on because that one's quite big, but it was quite painful, and trying to get this ring back on my finger, look, there's no chance at the moment because it's a bit swollen up. So that was fun, trying to get super glue off my finger. Bit of a panic. I was only trying to glue my nail together because I broke my nail right down there, and I tried to, well, it was nail glue that I used, because I didn't want to pull my nail off and half my finger. So yes, that was a bit of a panic stations this morning, but all good now. So what I'm going to take a piece of this craft tape, and I'm going to just lay it down like this, if I can. Now I'm going to pop this one in the middle. So this is just the spine, like that, if I can sort of get it in the middle. Now what I want to do then is just pop these either side, but you need a little gap. Now what I did, I've got something here, which is another piece of this chipboard, but I've also added 2 little bits of packaging, which is just from from a biscuit box like this. So I've cut 2 pieces of that and stuck it on, okay, so it's flat. So I just wanted it just a little bit wider, so you want to put that in like that, and then I'm going to stick that on top. That's just so you've got a little gap here, just like that, so when you fold your journal like that, you've got room to do it, so they're not butted right up against each other. So just pop that down beside your little spine bit and pop these on. Make sure they are nice and level. There we go. And then I'm just going to pull that up nice and tight, just to stick these pages together, the outside bits together like that. Let's make sure it's nice and flat. There we go. Perfect. So that's all nice in there. Just push that in like that. Make sure it's all stuck down nicely, and that is just easy. That's your little folder like that. So that's quite simple. Now what we are going to do now, I have got, right, this is for the inside pieces I've cut, so we don't need those yet, and this is for the outside pieces. So it doesn't really matter at the moment which is inside and which is outside, I don't think. Maybe I'll have this, so it's, because I've got the bit here where the tape is, so I'll keep that on the inside, I think. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop that right to the end, right to this bit here, and then we're going to stick that on like that, and then wrap these around on the inside. Okay, so I've got 2 pieces like that. So these have been cut to, look, I've got stuff stuck. This is magnetic, so it keeps sticking, things keep sticking to it. So I've cut this sort of like just over 5.5 inches by 8 inches. So we've got 2 of those. All as I did was cut a piece of the copy paper, the digital paper, in half. So I'm just going to stick that on. I'm not going to go right to the edge, because that's going to go on there, that's going to go on there, and then this is going to be the outsides to cover the spine, so you don't have to cover it all up. So I'm going to cover this with a little bit of the gel medium here. Again, use any glue, PVA glue that you've got, tacky glue or anything like that. I'm going to pop a little bit of this underneath so I don't make too much mess. Just glue it down. There we go. Now again, you can cover these journals with fabric. I will do a fabric one so I can show you how a fabric one is done as well. So I'm just going to take this out so I don't get glue everywhere. Stick that on there like that. Make sure it's all stuck down nicely. There we go. Turn that over. I'm just going to cut these corners here. I'm really not very good at cutting corners. And we're going to cover these bits up on the inside anyway. So then that comes up like that, and you just fold these in so they're all covered up, and then we will glue these on. Let me do the 2 bottom pieces first. Bit of glue like that. Push that in. I'm going to get my bone folder here. Just run that down there, just to make sure it's nice and flat. There we go. this end. Put a nice bit of glue on there so it sticks nicely. You can use decoupage glue as well onto here. Just push it up so it's nice and tight, so that it's not, to make sure this is all nice and level and flat. And then what we will do is push these corners in, just like that. Bit of glue, so we pop this down. Yeah. Squash that over. Oops. All that glue coming out. What a mess. Let me get a bit of kitchen towel. There we go, just wipe that off. Squash that down. Perfect. So that's the front. So that's quite simple, isn't it? Now we need to do the other side. The back, make sure you've got them up the right way. Let's pop this down. A little bit of glue. So again, you can do this with any papers, and they are really, really quick to do as well. If you can cut out a few of your little templates ready to go, which I do like to have. And I wanted to make this. The reason why I'm making this is because when I sit down watching telly, so next to me, I always seem to come up with ideas and never have anything to write them down in, or jot them down, or do little pictures. So this is what I've made this for. So let's just stick that on to there, like that. So then I can have this next to me, and then I can do all my little bits of journaling in there while I'm watching TV. Oh, I haven't done that very straight, have I? Never mind. Cut that corner off. There we go. Push that up. Should get your little corners there, so they're nice and neat. Make sure we've got that round the right way. Yes, we have. Oops, what am I doing? Pop this down again. God, what a mess I've just made. Don't need that on there yet. Onto there. And we'll do this side. Push that over. These make really good gifts as well, because you don't have to actually pop anything in it, so you don't have to fill it up with anything. You can just make it as a blank journal. So these are a good thing if you do any sales or any little craft fairs. If you're opening up now, you could be able to start doing craft fairs. These are a lovely one to do, because you've only got to do the outside. You don't have to fill it with anything. Okay, so that is all done. So that is all nice and neat. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Really nice. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop the two pieces inside. So that one will go there like that. and then this one will just sit on there like that. Quite quick and simple. Just make sure you get all the way around the edges, because it's got to be glued down really, really well. That's why I like using the matte medium gel, because it's really for sort of like mixed media, so you know it sticks really well. Pop these on. It's not very level, was it? There we go, that's a bit better. Oops. Nicely stuck down. Pop that over the top. You can do it, I suppose you could probably do it with double-sided tape if you wanted to as well. If you're not a glue person or you don't have too many supplies, normally you'd have a little bit maybe of some double-sided tape. And again, you don't have to do it with digital papers. You can do it with magazines or anything that you have. Some good old recycling. Okay. Perfect. So that is our little journal cover. So that's come out really, really well. Now what we need to do is cover the spine up. And that is just a piece of this fabric, just like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bend it around so this goes into the middle like that. Let's get a nice flat edge. Wrong scissors, where's my scissors? Here we are. And let's go up the right way. So I want to put that over underneath. I think I'll put that flat bit underneath. And let's just cut that off there. Like that. So we need this into the middle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this on like this. Now we've got to make sure you get into those little grooves there as well. And this side. Like that. I'm going to pop that. Hopefully that's in the middle. Let's see. Yes, that's the middle. What I'm going to do is just lift this up and pop some in there. Like that. Now this will have to wait to dry for just a little bit, so that's why we need to just wait to sew in the signatures and stuff and make holes in the spine to sew them in, just so we make sure this is nice and dry. So let's just go down through there. Go. And we're going to turn this over. I think I will bring the bottom piece up like that, and then that piece down. So let's add some glue. Make sure we've got a nice blob at the bottom. Pop on. Stick these bits down. Oops. Just go under there a little bit, make sure that's stuck down. Like that. Now be careful what fabric you use on here, because when you're going to be gluing down you don't want the glue to show through. So it's better to have sort of like a bit of a sort of calico. You can use paper if you wanted to, as long as you've used a sort of like a tape or some Tyvek or something on your spine. But the fabric as well is good for holding it together, but you can use some tape, not tape, you can use paper as well. Get little bits off. Okay. Push that up. Down, so these little bits here and at this side. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to leave this to dry. Just show you quickly what it looks like. So that will just bend up like that and over, and then you've got your lovely little hardback journal. So that's really nice. But make sure leave this for a little while to dry, so it doesn't all unstick. But there we go guys, that's how simple it is to make your little journal, the little outside cover bit. And then what we will do next time, I will show you how to pop on the little closure on either side, which is this one here, and also to sew in the signatures. So there we go guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it easy to follow. It's quite simple once you get going, and I think they look really nice, and it's a perfect little gift as well. So I'm going to leave this to dry, and I will be back with the next video. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please take care, and I will see you soon. Alright, bye bye.